Hi, everyone. This is Michelle Gramoglia, the President and CEO here at Woodland Pond, and this is my weekly update for a Tuesday. Today is Tuesday, April 11th, 2023. I've got a couple of calendar update type items, but before I get into those, I would like to first welcome Ms. Sue Close. Oh, excuse me, let me shut my radio off. Ms. Sue Close, who has joined us this week as our new Director of Activities in the Health Center. Sue has joined us with a significant amount of experience leading activities in long-term care settings here in the Hudson Valley. She's got an extensive resume, and the most exciting thing that I saw on her resume before I interviewed her in a great interview about a month ago or so was she spent really quite a long time at the Thompson House there in Rhinebeck, which for many, many years was the real pinnacle of long-term care here in the Hudson Valley, a place that many long-term care facilities and skilled nursing facilities really took inspiration from. And Sue led their activities programming there for really sort of the peak of their existence. Unfortunately, they are closing their doors. Sue is joining us, after having been there for many years and a couple of other places in the interim. But we will make sure that Sue has an opportunity to meet many of you in her travels. But welcome to Sue, and we will let you hit the ground running. We're looking forward to you joining our team. So thank you so much for joining the Woodland Pond family, and let's get going with some great new activities programming. We also want to encourage everyone to get outside today. So if you are watching this address, no matter where you live here at Woodland Pond, whether it's in independent living or assisted living or skilled nursing or garden view, you can get outside. Just ask us for help, or just ask a friend, or just go outside. It is absolutely beautiful outside today. Please get outside. It is really important to be getting some of that vitamin D therapy. The temperature is beautiful. Please do try to get outside. Sit on a bench, take a walk. It is so therapeutic. There is actually a resident here whose daughter sat in my office maybe, I don't know, 6 or 7 months ago, maybe a year ago. It was more recently than that. And she said, my mom has always told me that no matter how stressed you get or if you're feeling upset, that going outside will always try to make that right, or go a long way towards making that, feel better. And that really has stuck with me. And I think it's really true. And I dare everyone to test that theory today. So if you're feeling a little bit like cooped up or feeling a little glum, why don't you go test that theory today and see if letting the outside cheer you up helps, because today is one of those days that it can definitely make a difference. So go ahead and test that theory out, would you? A couple of those calendar items that I mentioned today from 7 to 9 p.m. in the PAC. The Newsbreak Bluegrass Band will be having an open rehearsal in the PAC. Our driver, Jim Sullivan, is part of that band. This is not a performance, it's just a casual rehearsal, and all residents are invited to just pop in and take a listen to that rehearsal. So go ahead and you can do that. On Thursday, we will be hosting a Veterans Cafe in the PAC. Actually, this will be hosted by Hospice. We will just be the conduit. And this is a nice opportunity for all of our veterans to visit and chat with Ron J. Johnson, who is part of the hospice staff, but also a veteran, and she will bring refreshments. Veterans, if you do plan to attend this, please do let concierge know by this afternoon if you plan to attend. So again, this is a Veterans Cafe open to all of our vets. I think it's a nice opportunity to visit with other veterans, amongst Woodland Pond, and then with this veteran from hospice, and enjoy some refreshments and some company. So that's great. We've got some exciting things going on with the Health Center Committee and also with the Health Center in general. Just a couple of things that I've met with the dining folks on. We are going to be trialing a new program in the next few weeks in Garden View specifically. We're always looking to enhance the dining experience particularly in assisted living, skilled nursing, and in Garden View. And it's particularly challenging in those settings. If you think about, the fact that, food is such, and the culinary experience is so important here on campus, we're always sort of surveying things and trying to introduce new menu cycles, or taking feedback through the Happy or Not machines in the main dining room, or trialing the pub hours on the weekends and those kinds of things. It's a little bit more challenging in the very heavily regulated environments of the health center. And those regulations really do provide some hamstringing of what we can really do in terms of creativity and service. We can't, I've talked about this before, we can't serve things, medium rare, for example, and we can't, be as, potentially as creative in terms of flavor profiles, because the spices and the saltiness and those kinds of things just can't be done because of the regulations. But where we can make modifications, we need to be, if it can enhance the service opportunities that we have. So just this morning, we had a sort of culmination meeting on some things that we've been looking and talking about doing in the health center. And we're going to be introducing some of those things over the next few weeks in each of the health center dining settings. So without going into too much detail, we will be looking at a new way of offering our Garden View residents some alternatives at the table side, which is a departure from what we're doing right now. So historically, what we've done is we have, asked the residents their menu choices, and the residents have said, I'll select this item or I'll select that item, and we do that ahead of time so that the kitchen can provide that item to them. But one thing that we know about folks with memory issues or potential cognitive impairment is, sometimes a visual, opportunity is easier for them to make a decision based on. So we are going to trial at the recommendation of Marion Malqui, who is a newer enriched housing or assisted living unit manager to us, who came to us in January with significant experience in the field. She had said, one of the things that I had at my past, in my past positions, she's a certified dementia practitioner. She said, we had plated sample plates. We would show the residents, would you like this plate or would you like this plate? And it would actually be the dish that we're serving that night, that lunch or that dinner. And after a number of discussions, we actually were able to decide today that we are going to be able to trial that program. And of course, some of the considerations are, well, gosh, then we have to prepare, 20 of each of those dishes. And are we going to then create a waste stream problem? And we don't want to do that inadvertently, because of course, as you all know, we have sustainability on our minds at Woodland Pond, and we don't want to create a waste stream issue. So there's lots of considerations. So we're always trying to balance a lot of things at Woodland Pond. So we are going to move forward with that trial in the next couple of weeks. And hopefully that will enhance the Garden View experience for our residents dining there. We've got some new potential furniture coming into the assisted living dining room that we're hoping is going to enhance the experience there, and how those tables are laid out. Hopefully encourage residents that unfortunately have left the dining room during COVID and have not returned to the dining room, which is very discouraging to us. Folks have become a little bit complacent. We've seen this also in the main dining room. We want people to come back into the dining room. And there's been a little bit of territorialism that's occurred in the assisted living dining room. We're hoping that with rearranged table settings, new tables, different table arrangements that we're going to look to invest in, that we can encourage folks to come out of their apartments in assisted living and return to the dining room. I'm not sure if folks are aware of this, and you may be if you've gone on the health center tours that we are encouraging folks to do. But prior to COVID, there was no tray service available or allowed in assisted living settings in New York State. And during COVID, the state did allow for tray service because folks were not allowed to eat in a congregate setting during the pandemic. Well, now the dining rooms are back open, but tray service is also permitted. So we have seen that there are certain residents that have decided to remain eating, in their apartments, and it has certainly reduced sort of that congregate, a community feel in the dining room. And we've seen our populations in the dining room, primarily in assisted living, really drop off, and we're concerned about that. There's an isolative factor there that we don't really like to see. So we're going to do some investment and see if we can, with different table options, see if we can get more folks back into the dining room. We introduced a custom omelet bar last Friday morning that we're going to try to do a little bit more, try to get people into the dining room for breakfast there. And then we're looking at some service enhancements and modifications in skilled nursing as well, that we're going to be looking at introducing for dinner time starting, I think, next week as well. So we're really looking at things. We really want your feedback. If you are attending those health center committee meetings, you've got all hands and all ears on deck there. So please bring those ideas. We are listening. This is how changes get made. Please do continue to provide that feedback. You know how to get in touch with me. I'm here all the rest of the week. I've got 3-ish more weeks of covering Philip's sabbatical. He will be back May 1st. But I'm not walking away. This is going to be an ongoing thing. So I hope you all have a great day. I don't have anything else for today's update, and I hope that you do get outside as I have encouraged. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.